Well, welcome back. We got our week 3 of our ARU Men's Collegiate Breakdown show. And again, Seth is with me today, Mark. And actually, we have up in the other corner a special guest with us today, Bill Marnell from the Pittsburgh Forge. And Bill is with us to talk to us about the U23 program that the Forge have and kind of the tryouts that are going to be, well, this is going to air tomorrow, Thursday. So the tryouts on Saturday. So we just thought we'd bring him in. You know, we're always open for guests on this show. So Bill, welcome to the show.
Thanks. No, a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me, guys. It's been cool. I've watched your first 2 episodes and super impressed. I was like, man, I gotta get on there, man. I gotta get on there.
It's just like two random dudes in basements that are like, let's talk about rugby. Why not?
Hey, like I said, man, I said, you know what? That podcast could use some more facial hair. So that's what I'm saying.
That's it. That's what we needed.
I got gray. Yeah, I got the gray though. So
he's the advanced. He's the advanced Seth. That's it.
He's the youngest too, I bet.
Maybe just showing it.
Well, yeah, we thought, hey, U23, that's college age, right? So
absolutely.
Thought maybe we'd come on and maybe pitch us the team, the idea, what's going on with the Forge U23.
Yeah. So again, thanks for having me on. We noticed, there's some really cool things happening with the women's side of U23. And it's actually, there's a sort of a USA Rugby sponsored LAU based competition. So it's for the women, but over at the Forge, we recognize that there really wasn't anything organized from a U23 age grade perspective. Now, of course, NCR has their select sides, which really took off this year. Seth, I would say, this year really the first year it kind of really took off, which is great. But go ahead, Seth.
I was gonna say, yeah. So I think last year was kind of like trying to figure out what it was going to be and what the regionalities were.
Yeah.
And then this year, it was year 2, so obviously things can only get better. And I actually jumped on a team this year with the Great Lakes, so like the Wheeling, Kentucky, Ohio corridor, and it was great event. It was real fun. Bunch of I think it was like 22 total teams. I think something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's interesting too because I think with moving on from Gary Gold to Scott Lawrence on the national team, I think there's a movement, and I even read an article about how they're going to start appreciating more of these age grade programs, and I think that only bodes well for rugby in the United States. So, with that kind of stuff in mind, we're moving more toward select side type stuff at the senior level. So obviously, there's U19, U23 level. So anyway, without going too far down a rabbit hole, the Forge saw an opportunity here in the greater Pittsburgh area to start offering some select sides type age grade programming here. We started it last year, had an amazing first spring, and ended up going down to play MLR Old Glory's U23 side. And we lost the match, really competitive match. I think we surprised them on how competitive we were. And then we actually ended up getting 4 of our players from that side were actually asked to enter Old Glory's player pool. And they actually ended up playing a couple matches later in the spring, which was really awesome. So that was our right off the get-go. We're like, man, this is fantastic. So then we switched over. We had a second match. Again, we traveled. We went down to Nashville to play USA Rugby South's U23 team. It was tough because while the spring is a little bit easier, there's no great weekend in the fall. I talked to Seth quite a bit. It's like you want to schedule it. We're trying not to conflict with anybody's league schedule, right? So, we were like, hey, we'll push this out and in as far as we could. The unfortunate, the double-edged sword was, we have some really great teams in this area that actually made it pretty damn far in playoffs. So we unfortunately couldn't have any of the IUP guys, but it's not like you guys weren't playing some high level rugby. You ended up making the playoffs, which was great. But we took a side down. We ended up getting our first win against USA Rugby South. Again, a very storied select side, so we were happy with that. There were some national team coaches in the area. So we, again, a second opportunity in a row to get young guys seen. So that's the model. So we're back again for this spring. We're excited that we're actually going to host a home game. So we're going to keep things pretty inexpensive. We're not asking guys to get hotels. We're not asking guys to travel. So it's going to be a pretty easy lift from a player investment standpoint. But I actually I'm gonna break a little bit of news on your guys' podcast. So we were initially scheduled. Yeah, we were initially scheduled to play Wisconsin U23, which we're still going to play Wisconsin U23, but we actually got Ohio U23 as well is going to come. So we'll actually be hosting 3 matches that day. So the Forge U23 will be playing both Wisconsin and Ohio, and then Ohio and Wisconsin will also play as well. So that'll be great. So we'll actually end up being able to expand the player pool a little bit. Instead of maybe 23, we'll probably select maybe 28 or 30. So there's plenty of opportunities. And then a little bit different this year, we are we're starting to get more and more in partnership with the Allegheny Rugby Union. So we wanted to piggyback off your guys' sevens tournament. You have a lot of great sides coming. So we're hosting our first tryout at IUP this weekend from 12 to 2. We're going to be on the backfield. We know some teams will be playing there. So if you got matches, obviously your first priority is to compete for your club. Then if you do have some downtime, make sure you scoot over. The program's coached by Al Murray and Derek Neubauer. They both do a fantastic job. And I was blown away by their dedication. They both have extensive collegiate coaching experience. Both of them spent a lot of time at University of Pittsburgh. Derek's actually been all over the place. Al coached the Forge senior side for a couple years under Steve Walsh. Derek's still a forwards coach for us, but they both have extensive experience coaching college players at a high level. So they do a great job. We brought in George Roscoe, who's been helping out Pitt. He comes around and helps out a little bit, and then we're hoping to integrate Seth, as he's available as well. But yeah, we're just excited. I think Western Pennsylvania, as you guys know, and I mean, Old Glory talked to us about this extensively. This is kind of like this is a untapped area, so to speak. And I think clubs like IUP, clubs like Wheeling are starting to get us a little bit more notoriety. But we're largely an unknown entity. And I think programs like this are continuing to raise the awareness of the level of rugby. And obviously with PR7s coming here, I think Western Pennsylvania and this area is going to continue to be highlighted as a rugby area. So that's all we're trying to do. So we're really excited about the program, about the tryout this Saturday. We really hope that players send their players. It's a low cost with a lot of upside. So
yeah,
give it a shot.
Yeah, I think one thing that's going to help that side especially is with NCR pushing and condensing the spring. So no matter what, clubs are all done prior to when you guys are playing. It's May 20th?
Yeah, May 20th. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So I think even like last year, Seth, were we still? Yeah, we were. I think we might have still been competing with CRCs. We were.
You were,
we
because
played that Old Glory.
Yeah, because I had 3 guys travel with your side. And I looked at them. I was like, "Look, you all 3 are starters. I'm going to tell Bill, like 10 minutes max, and if they get hit really hard, yank them as soon as that happens, because we had already paid for New Orleans at that point."
Oh no! And again, Seth, the goal is to not compete with. That's why we typically have trainings on Sundays. We try to scatter tryouts. I mean, we want players to compete with their clubs. We've gotten foiled by having IUP guys, because you guys won't lose and you keep going to nationals, but that's a good thing. But no, it's absolutely, and it's nice too, because we have players from all levels. We have Division I players, we have Division II players, we have Division III players. It's and hopefully, like any select side, you have players taking things back. Taking some different things back. They're hearing from different voices. We have some great coaches in the area, but sometimes it's better. It's good. I won't say better. It's good to hear from another voice here and there. Hopefully they're getting some value from it. And if they're playing with some players of high caliber and some skill, and hopefully there's some intrinsic things that can go back to all the clubs.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I had a couple of my guys this weekend say, as they're looking beyond their college career, that they're kind of excited about that men's level competition where they play smarter rugby. And I said, well, you could also get that by playing this U23 option before you even graduate, right? I mean, it's like you're saying, playing with a wide variety of players, but also hearing those different voices. How many times does a kid look at you and go, wow, if only you would have told me that, coach? And you're thinking, I have.
I did tell you that.
Times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Different voice, different voice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great.
It's cool too because we have a couple senior club Forge players that are still eligible for U23. That guys that are playing at an incredibly high level at 20, 21, 22. So I think just, some of the collegiate players getting on the field with some of those guys, there's bound to be learning something. Yeah. So that's pretty cool too.
Yeah, there's one on that side that I give crap all the time because he started at IUP and unfortunately didn't finish. So I give him probably weekly.
He's pushing it. He's pushing. His age is pushing it. I'm pretty sure I know you're talking about. He's getting up there. He's getting close.
Yeah, he's a let's say hooker build, but plays like a inside center maybe. Yeah.
He looked really good for ARU Selects 2 weeks ago. I don't know if you guys got to watch that game. He looked really good for
I streamed most of it because I had two ex-IUP guys were there, Cam and Dippy.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, Bill, can you give us like a timeline of, when you guys are having tryouts? Obviously this coming weekend, but sort of further tryouts. You mentioned the matches with Wisconsin and Ohio.
Yes.
Anything else they should be looking for?
Bear with me 1 second. Well, I should have had that pulled up, huh? I know the first tryouts, so I can speak that. So, yeah. Obviously the first tryout is this weekend, and if you miss tryout, we're going to have a tryout in Pittsburgh on Sunday, April 2nd. I'm pretty sure that's the that's the date. So that's for players they're going to select to bring to those tryouts. That's what I'm pulling up now. Here we go. So there'll be so you have a couple weeks. So there'll be a training session on Sunday, April 23rd, and Sunday, May 7th. So there'll be 2 training sessions. So 2 tryouts, pick a pool, 2 trainings, and then the week of the match, which ideally, hopefully everybody's home from school at that point, we'll do a final walkthrough the Thursday before the match. So that would be Thursday, May 18th. Then, of course, the match being on May 20th, but it'll actually be 2 matches. It'll be Wisconsin U23 and Ohio U23. So you have 2 opportunities to try out. I'm assuming we'll probably flirt with something like between 30 and 35 players, inviting them to training. And then hopefully from there, we'll be able to pick a 28 to 30 man roster for 2 matches. So I think a little bit of expanded roster. We'll have more choices. So I think it'll be great. And I'm really excited.
Can you give a rundown about this weekend? I know my guys are at least my top 10 who probably are going to get heavy minutes are worried about not being seen. So
yeah, I mean, I think knowing that we are going to be at a sevens tournament, we have to understand the fact that guys are going to be competing. So we're obviously not focused too much on contact. I think there's some measurables that they're going to want to see. We typically do have guys run a Bronco. I don't necessarily know if we're going to do that. We'll probably I can say almost with a degree of certainty we'll do that the second tryout because I don't know if they're going to run the Bronco, but we're typically the tryouts that I've been involved in. We're just doing measurables. Now, I think the nice thing about having a sevens tournament there is, in addition to the actual tryout going on, Al and Derek are obviously going to spend some time watching. So I think whatever we can't see in a tryout, there's obviously going to be live rugby being played. So I think that they're going to be able to see things like, pass catch, taking the ball with pace, how you tackle. Obviously you're a little bit more exposed in seven. So you're going to have a real good highlight. There's not going to be great. You're not going to be able to see a lot of set piece work, but that's something that we can fix up down the line. But yeah, I think it's a combination of the tryout. And obviously I think it's going to be important, Seth and Marc, and we can pass this along to the ARU guys, that if you have players that are competing and they're interested in the program, and at a minimum, they need to go over and make sure they're saying to Al and Derek, like, hey, I'm interested. Here's the I'm playing. I want to try out. I'll do everything I can in the tryout, but and I think Derek and Al have been around, so they're not going to ask anybody to do anything that's going to jeopardize what you guys are doing on the field. So
yeah. So I told my guys they're going to wear the same number. They've been wearing the same number all tournaments to make sure to go over, introduce you guys like around noon. I don't think we're playing around that time. Or if we do, I think we finish like right before then.
Yeah.
Yeah, we finish. We would be finishing right at noon. So I told them to just go over after we're done, introduce themselves, be like, hey, I'm Seth and I'm wearing number 1. I'm interested in playing, but I'm dog tired because coach hasn't pulled me yet today. So
yeah. Hey, I just played 28 minutes on a sevens field. Please don't make me run a Bronco right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Although I will tell a couple of them they will be running a Bronco in addition to playing sevens. That's for me in my humor.
Yeah. But yeah, they're typically just looking at measurables, the measurables that most people are looking at. So so that's obviously you can get some of that off of the rugby pitch too. So
sweet. And I have shared the schedule with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. And I pass it along. Yep. Yeah. So excited. So anybody wants to come see us, we'll be in the backfield, and we'll probably be watching the games as well. And then if you can't make it, or you want to try out a second time, if I don't know how busy Saturday the 1st is, but if you guys want to come, if anybody wants to come down to Pittsburgh and try out a second time, you send it to me all up, Seth. What is the 1st?
This is the ARU championship
of April.
Yeah, so it's the ARU championship.
Oh, that's not good. We'll be fresh.
Yeah,
we'll be fresh off that.
They'll be fresh.
So
my guys won't, but they'll be fine.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So yeah, but yeah, we'll hopefully we get great numbers out, and we have lots of names to choose from, and we're excited to have you guys.
Perfect.
Well, sounds great, and yeah, it'll be fun to have you guys there again. I think it's a great idea to sort of piggyback off what's already going on. I mean, we're going to have lots of different teams in one place. It's a great opportunity to do that. So,
yep.
Especially for some folks, God, my guys, some of them already live a far way north of Clarion, so coming down from Clarion's difficult sometimes. So it'll be cool.
Yeah. Yep. Great. Yeah. All
right, man.
Well,
Bill.
Hey, yep. I'll cut you guys. I'll cut out, and I'll make sure I catch the rest of the episode tomorrow.
Sounds good. Thanks, Bill. We'll see you.
Thanks for
having me, guys. Yep. See ya. Bye.
And then there were 2.
Wow, that one's seamless too. I'm sitting here like, wow, we've never done this with a guest come in and guest leave. How's this gonna work?
Boom.
And now you get the Lucky Charm shirt full.
The whole thing, right? The whole kit and caboodle of it. So we had a little bit of technical issues there on Bill's, but we'll try and work some of that editing out, or maybe I'll leave it because fun. It's raw.
It was like 20 seconds worth. They're fine.
Yeah. But that's again, great opportunity there.
Yeah.
I'll have the dates and stuff floating around, so you should be able to see that.
I think it's great because we always get the question from our players, like, what's next? Where do I go from here? And this is that pathway, especially for like the really high level players who are looking to make a name and go to the MLR and have those aspirations. This is that pathway. Like you're saying, 4 guys got picked up to the Old Glory, player pool and the academy work. This is it. This is how you go from high school to collegiate to select side to potentially Major League Rugby.
Right.
And I know the coaches. Obviously, being a coach in the area forever, I've coached against all of them. I've played against most of them. So it's it's good. They do good things. They teach them, not necessarily the basics being on a high level select side, but like Bill was saying, we can only coach so much to our guys. It's great when they go and hear a different voice say, something similar, but around the same gears that you're already coaching them. To okay, yeah. Now one coach says that makes sense. So, yeah.
Well, and like Bill also said, being able to take some of those skills back to your teams. I mean, it's just the more, we look at it like representation's great on these teams. We want to have lots of different schools, lots of different stuff like that represented on these teams.
Yeah.
But we want that because then that means each one of these teams are getting guys coming back onto the squad that have that higher level experience.
Yes.
And it just raises the bar for everybody else and makes rugby in this region better.
Yep. That's all we care about, right?
That's all we care about.
We care about growth and being better in the region, right?
Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, and I think we've seen that, right? Our league continues to get better. At least I think it does.
I think it does.
We're better than we were last year. I don't know. I think there are other teams better than last year.
Too. I mean, nobody voted me out at the AGM, so I guess we did something okay.
I guess so. Maybe it's the podcast. Maybe they're afraid if they voted you out, we'd know.
I'd still do the podcast.
Yeah. Well,
this is a great, 20 to 60 minutes of talk, more rugby,
Yeah. And then we can just stand in the stands on Saturdays and say the same things we say here. That's
I was told we're gonna have heat underneath the bleachers. They're gonna heat it. So
luxury at IUP, my friend.
We'll see if it works. We'll see if it does.
Well, hey, it's supposed to be sunny. No snow, no rain.
That's all I cared about.
The first and only one.
That's all I cared about.
Well, hey, since we're talking, weather, maybe a quick 3-minute recap here of Slippery Rock tournament. It was pretty good.
3-minute recap of a great rugby tournament. I mean, even the teams that didn't fare well with record are improving. Like SUNY, SUNY came out in the first game and gave us everything we could. Sam Jackson, man.
He can run.
If I could full scholarship that kid weekly without being a jerk and making him leave SUNY and come to IUP, that man can run.
Well, you're not kidding.
And you got to bottle him, and it's not like it's just him. Like he sets up everybody else. So they were very competitive all day. A couple close losses. They held us to our lowest output of the day. Yeah. But you guys went 3-1 again.
We did. Well, and before we leave Fredonia, I mean, they played you guys while we were still in the locker room. They came in and they told us to score, and some of our guys just thought they weren't hearing them right, so it was a great result for them.
They had a really good game plan. They got in our face. They played defense ferociously. With the way they're flying up and getting behind the game line, they just caused a lot of handling errors. And I think it was 17-0 final, and I think it was maybe 5.
And they really should have had one at the end, I mean, so
yeah. Oh, and then there's me trying to coach Sam Jackson. When you get tracked by 3, as soon as you hit that 5-meter line, start lowering and slide into the tries and the tries to try. You don't have to center everything. And he just looked at me like, that's against your team. I was like, yeah, I don't care about them.
Yeah, right. See, we do care about the growth of them. Now, this poor guy, he was just exhausted. By the end of the day, some of his last runs, he would just lay on the field. He was fine, just tired. It was good. So, like you said, we went 3-1, which was a good day. Only lost to you guys.
Yeah.
We got to see John Carroll.
John Carroll, first tournament, right? Yeah, they haven't done anything yet. Yeah. Coming back this week. What they get? They
big team.
3. They went 2-2.
2-2.
2-2, which they probably had the match of the day against Slit.
That was feisty, and for all reasons we can just, if you were there, but
it was every bit of, we want what you have, and we're not going down without a fight.
Yeah.
And it was every bit of 14-7. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the slip score towards the end, like very close to the end, or was it 14-7 a while? And John Carroll was no, it was 14-7, and John Carroll got inside the 22, got backed out, got back inside, and it was like back and forth for like 3 minutes, and it was
intense.
It was great. It was great. I was sitting up in the stands. I think it was the one time I actually went in the stands, and it was.
Yeah, we were standing right next to each other the whole game.
Yeah, we were. Yeah, yeah. It was great. It was a great rugby match to watch. Yeah, probably as the conference commissioner, I probably should have went down on the field when it got a little bit chippy, but referees handled it. It was like 4 referees were on the field at the same time. It was fun.
Yeah. No, it was good. Frostburg State, we got to see.
Frostburg got out of the mountains, had a little bit of trouble getting there, but they got their first.
To me, they're similar to Fredonia, but they just got some big dudes.
They are tight 5. Like it reminds me of like back in the day when like sevens really wasn't a thing, but it was kind of becoming a thing, and like we would get it to tournaments, and like we would have 2 sides. Like we would have like the top skilled side, basically 9 through 15, and then there's like the tight 5s.
Yeah,
and we were the Clydesdale side where we were there to have fun.
And on many Clydesdale sides.
And that's kind of what that reminded me of. It's like they're all like 6'4", 6'5", 325. Like
they're huge.
Like, I was like, I looked at Coach Baker and I was like, dude, where's your backs? He's like,
who needs backs?
I was like, all right.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, and I mean they moved the ball. They moved the ball pretty well. I'm trying to look at their scores. I don't think their scores were all that.
The scores weren't all that great.
I mean, their first match, 17-5 to John Carroll. That was their first run, and then, but this is their first run, and there's, I think they did sevens last year, but not very much, if I remember.
They did. Yeah, they were around.
Okay.
They were our big nemesis. I mean, God, we tied them.
Oh, that was the kick out. That was the kick.
Multiple times at Wheeling and at home against them. Yeah. We've learned. We do that now.
No, you don't. I saw your dude, Michael Vick, that out the side.
He did. We don't trust our foot. That's fine. Just get it out of bounds. And then, which I don't know how many people were actually paying attention to it, but if you watch the 3rd place or the 5th place game, WVU Kent State, at the end of the day was a back and forth cracking of a match.
It was and then at the very end, I was like a 60-meter 7 stiff arm try.
Yep, and then conversion to win it, 22-21, I think Kent State for WVU. That was a great game.
That was a great one. That was good. Yeah. I really, I think I was running touch for that one, to be honest. And and it was like all the guys, because we see both of those teams so much, they're like over there like, Coach, what should I have done there? I'm like, you know what you should have done. So
I really love how you're just everybody's coach. Everyone just knows that.
Somebody asked me about rugby. I will talk rugby. It's gonna happen, so but it was hilarious too, because like the one kid, Duffy from WVU, had a long break, gave them the lead, and then he just ran out of gas, got yanked, and then like the very next sequence was where he should have been as the speedier guy. They put a bigger guy, and then the Kent did. I think it was Kissinger, maybe their new president.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He's a big second rower. He's kind of big dumb meatheadish like me, big second rower. Just like caught the kick, moved it in a little bit, came back to him, and then he just stiffed everybody for 60 meters, scored a try, centered it, unorthodox center style, by the way, where he ran 2 or 3 guys over in the try zone to make sure it got centered it, kick it, and then that's it. They won the game. That was a good one. That was really good.
It was. Yeah,
and you guys, John Carroll for the 3rd place was good too.
It was pretty good. Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily as back and forth. I think you guys had a pretty big lead.
We jumped out 19-0. And then John Carroll chipped away, and second half pulled it within, I think 24-19. I think it was 24-19.
I think it was within 5, yeah.
Then at the very end, there was a line out that wasn't marked apparently, and we threw it in, and everyone was kind of looking at him, and then our guy just took off. Logan takes off down the sidelines, and so we were able to take up 29-19 was the final. But yeah, I mean, I think we looked good in the first half, and we kind of took our foot off the gas pedal a little bit. But I mean, all the credit in the world to John Carroll for clawing back into that.
Yeah, and I don't know if that was John Carroll's full side. I know both of us, we remember the John Carroll from last year. I don't know if guys graduated. I got to talk to Rutledge a little bit more. I don't know if guys graduated or not, but I'm pretty sure they're missing 2 of their big studs. If they graduated, okay, but if they weren't there, then that team gets a lot more dangerous.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, they also had a big team. I mean, they came in with 2 sides. I mean, they probably had 25 guys there over the weekend. So, certainly a good sign there for John Carroll.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it wouldn't be a sevens tournament if it wasn't capped off by IUP Slippery Rock.
I mean, it seems to be that way every week.
Yeah.
I think for us this week, I think Slippery Rock emptied a tank against John Carroll. That was every ounce of effort they could. They came out against us flat. They're fighting injuries. We didn't have what our full side would be quite yet. I think we did for like maybe 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Of that WVU. Our second match. No. Our third match.
Your third match,
yeah. I think we did for like 30 seconds and then another hamstring issue. And I just want to see my top 7 together. I just want to see how they move the ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously, I think we'll be fine. They're all good rugby players. So
right.
But yeah, just typical Western PA tournament. IEP slipping the championship. Why not?
Why not? Well,
although
great segue, right?
It's gonna change this week.
It's gonna change this week.
Slip is not attending. Spring break injuries. They're gonna take a week to recoup, which I think you're not doing next week. I'm doing next week.
Right.
We were supposed to play 15s next week, but it's not going to happen. So we're going to take a probably much needed bye week, get healthy. You're going to Nashville. Are you going? Are you going with the team?
I'm not going. No.
Slacker.
It's not a school paid trip, and
I
went last year. I did the Nashville thing. I'm good. So I will let them go and have a good time. And I swear to God, if any one of them comes back injured, I will injure them even further. I don't like this idea, but they're doing it. So, but so is John Carroll, and so is Kent State, and so we got ARU representation going down to Nashville.
No, I wish I would have known about it. Somebody told me about it. I'm just on sevens, but it's a 15s tournament, so
Hey, next year we could take. We should just take the ARU U23 down there.
Take an ARU select and segue that in the Marnell. Yeah, right. Now we got a feeder program for you.
Bill some ideas. Yeah.
Yeah. So this week, 2 pools. For the first time, we're gonna have some women's matches.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna have IEP women, Pitt women. That started off as a 16 bracket, went down to 2. They're playing 3 different matches, kind of mixed in our sides. We got Pool A, IUP, WVU, John Carroll, St. Vincent. If you were a tournament pool of death kind of guy, that might be it. Trust, this was much better when Slip was there. I didn't feel.
It was a little more even.
I didn't feel as one side was overly stacked to the other, but here we are. Pool B is Clarion. Kent State, Robert Morris getting their first action. St. Vincent, I think that's their first action as well.
Yeah.
It's kind of a Three Rivers area crossover, so they're coming in. And then we have a Killer B side. So what we're going to do is we're going to rotate the John Carroll B and the St. Vincent B. to where John Carroll's going to get the first, St. Vincent second, John Carroll third, St. Vincent fourth. I mean, they can flip flop whoever does what. It doesn't matter. And then at the end, we'll do A4, B4, A3, B3, and finish the day.
Kind of same thing we've been doing for a while now.
We will not have an IUP versus Slip championship.
We won't.
I know WVU wants nothing more to knock us off.
Yeah.
So, our pool is not going to be easy.
But the good news is, I mean, besides, the D2s are hard because, there's always going to be two of you in one pool, right?
Yeah.
You see each other a lot. But, for the small colleges, at least we're all seeing something a little different this week, which is cool again. So that's nice.
New. Yeah, like John Carroll gets a gauge off St. Vincent, who potentially could be a region, to where John Carroll's going to get the first. St. Vincent could be a regional, Region 3 AQ play-in tournament matchup.
Right.
So I see that early on. Robert Morris is getting their first action of the spring. So, I mean, hey.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good tournament. So as we were talking to Bill, I got an email. I emailed over to the PR7s. They have their tryout Sunday. Me being me and loving rugby, I emailed their general manager of the league and invited him cordially to IUP if he wanted to advance scout any college rugby. He replied that he personally would be unable, but will look around as much as he can to send somebody who would be in the area early. His flight doesn't come in till later Saturday, so he's unable, but he's going to try and send representation. So that would be pretty freaking cool. Could be a region.
Right. That's pretty neat. We're just breaking news left and right tonight.
Like a breaking news graphic.
This is why you tune in. Yeah, I'm not going to get that done by tomorrow.
You don't need it.
But the breaking news is just the expression on our face.
Yeah.
You can definitely tell.
I bet you if you watch it, you can look where I look at the monitor and see the number. I'm like, ooh.
There you go. Well, very good. So that's kind of our look ahead at IUP's weekend here. Should be a good one. We were saying the weather should be good, which is nice. And then, there's the chicken tournament at WVU the weekend after. I believe Wabash is also hosting something, and so is Kenyon, I think.
Yeah, that's
on the 25th.
25th is a busy week. Yeah, WVU, Wabash, and Kenyon. Yep.
And then I think we were talking about a little earlier today. We have a site for the championship now, correct?
So right now, barring any more issues, the ARU championships will be at East Lake Park in Cleveland. It's going to be hosted by John Carroll.
We got referees.
That
okay.
Yes. So right as of this very second, now this absolutely could change at any minute. Everybody knows that it's rugby. I'm doing my best to make this work. Me personally, I feel bad. Everything so far has been in Western or further Eastern PA at IUP. We want to expand over to the full union, right? So we're doing everything we can to get this to happen in Cleveland. I mean, we have 4 or 5 schools within a half-hour drive to that park. The hopes are it's going to be there. If it fails and fails miserably, and we can't get the referees, we can't get the clearances, and blah 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 blah. If it fails, our backup plan is Chatham University in Pittsburgh. We have confirmed. We're okay. We're ready to go. We have the referees confirmed. We have the MT confirmed. So we're doing our best to push the Cleveland. If that fails, it will be at Chatham. We have a backup site. It's confirmed. We're ready to roll. It has lights. It's fine. East Lake does not have lights, but we just hit daylight savings, so we should be fine.
Yeah.
So
cool.
Well,
That's great. And before we hit the 40-minute mark here, I know we had a guest, so we'll give a little extra longer show today. That's great news. I think that about recaps us.
Yeah.
My battery is going to die on my laptop.
Before that happens, I made a very, very special promise at the end of the Slippery Rock tournament. Okay, you may have a new nickname because I think Lachlan was so scared to talk to me because, like, you know, I'm like quadruple his size, but I'm like half the size of his dad. I don't know why he was scared of me. He was saying you and Psycho, so Psycho Sanko.
Psycho Sanko.
And in my head, he was calling you Psycho the whole time. And I'm like, you really calling him Psycho? And then it was just like, you know, his like little nervous, like, I don't want to talk to you, but I want to talk to you. And he was trying to say Sanko. So my shout out to our absolute number one fan.
Super fan.
Our super fan. I'm waiting for him to have your face on a t-shirt, not mine, because that would scare people. You'd probably get expelled from school. You know, Mini Hightower Lachlan. You know, we appreciate you watching, buddy. I know you're probably like 3 to 10 of these views a week we get.
For sure. Yeah, we love it, man. And I love seeing you at tournaments saying hey. And it's so good. So good to see you around. So
giving me crap for making his dad mad all the time.
There you go.
part of the conversation was take it easy on his dad.
There we go. You should.
I said no. I said, buddy, I can't. I said it's IEP slip. I can't.
You should know by now. You should know.
He'll figure it out.
Matt, before my laptop dies, so that's why we don't lose it all. I know. I should have brought a cord. We'll say goodnight. We'll say see you later for wherever you are. And we'll say see you at IUP this weekend.
See you Saturday, buddy.
Okay. Take care, everyone.
Yeah.